Okay, this is about hour and a half after the last video. I got the tiller drug around, got it hung on the back. It hangs with two pins on the bottom, and then there's a post that fits into the bracket up here, and there's a pin that fits through that. Then you hang this outer pulley set up, hangs on a post right on the side of the lift there, and you put a pin further down. This pulley setup is what drives the main drive belt. I've got to stretch it up to the pulley underneath the seat, put it over a pulley, and then there's a lever right there that I got to pull back. It's spring loaded, and then the belt will be tight. So belt will be on in less than 45 seconds. So that's why they call this brand Simplicity, because everything was meant to be taken apart and put back together with the least amount of parts required. I also went through, there's lubrication points on the gear case, forward and back. Went through and tightened up various bolts, nuts, bolts, different fasteners, because things tend to shake loose. This machine takes a lot of vibration when it's in service, and I lubed up the chassis on the machine. There's a grease zert in 2 spots on the rear axle, and there's one up on the transmission. Then there's another grease point up here on the clutch brake, the lever that's never used, but there's a grease point on it. There's one on each forward spindle for the suspension, and I got a grease zert installed on each wheel also, so that I don't have to take the hubcap apart to grease the bearings on the front. So it's pretty simple lubrication plan, but it's just something that grease is a lot cheaper than replacing parts. So I end up lubing this machine really good in the spring, and then midway through the season I'll go through and hit everything again, and that'll keep everything happy. So while I was had the camera off, my uncle stopped by, and he gave me about 150 or 200 feet of it's construction fence, but it can be used as a snow fence also. But it was sold as caution fence to be put around construction sites to keep people from walking in and breaking their bones. And he gave me a big stack. I got 6 pieces of 2x12 that are about those are about 8 foot long, and then I got another 2x12 there. That one's pressure treated and it's 10 feet long. And he dropped off a 10-foot 2x6, and there's a That one's been cut, so it's about 7.5 feet long, 2x6. And then they called them metal studs. It's a metal bracket that's bent in a U, and it's got a piece of OSB run down the center of it. It's got a bracket on one end. It's enough that you can hang it in a wall, and then zap some nails or screws into it. So that was a good deal too. That's a new, never been used container that you strap to the top of a car. And it's got more dirt on it from being moved from one storage shed to another than it does from actually being used. But and that's a toolbox that fits inside of a pickup box. And that's another one that just showed up here, and I haven't found a use for it yet, but someday I will, or else I'll sell it. I don't know. But today we're working on tillers, and I think I'm going to take this out and till up a spot big enough to put potatoes in, and if it goes good, I'll go rip up a spot that is big enough to put some onions in. But I think the rest of it is too wet to deal with anything else. So I might set up the tripod and show you this machine in action. Maybe doing tilling, possibly. We'll see how today goes. If not, I'm going to leave this hung on the machine long enough that I can get my garden tilled up, and once people see that you're set up to till gardens, then suddenly everybody's got a garden they want tilled. So I'll work through those, and I'll collect my fees as they present themselves. All right, we'll catch you later.